Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
I'm from Ohio, and I was just going to ask you what you think about the new era with Joe Biden and what's going to happen to all the people being tried for treason and sedition who stormed the Capitol. Do you think that they're going to jail will just strengthen the persecution complex of the cult? Like, do you think they'll become like pseudo martyrs or something, or will they actually be punished and it'll wake people up? Just interested to know your thoughts on that. Thanks for all you do.
Interesting question. I think what's going to happen is a small percentage of the country is going to view those people as martyrs. But when it first happened, before the Republican Party had time to do damage control, only 5% of the country approved of what they did and believed that they were patriots. 14% didn't have much of an opinion on it, and the rest of the country believed that what happened was wrong. Now, since then, those numbers have changed because the Republican Party took the time to do damage control. But generally speaking, many of the tech companies like Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and all of the others, they banned a lot of conspiracy theory accounts like QAnon accounts, for example. And those are the exact types of accounts that would engage in apologetics for the insurrection, which means there aren't as many people around defending the insurrection anymore, not in public spaces like Twitter or Facebook. So I think that the insurrectionists will be viewed poorly by most of the country, by mainstream society. They're going to be viewed as what they are, insurrectionists. But within their little community, within their little pocket of extremism, they're going to be viewed as heroes and martyrs, just like you said. This is what happens when people get deplatformed. The members of the group that were deplatformed become more radicalized and more polarized, and the people on the outside of it are no longer as affected by the propaganda and the rhetoric that they had to offer in the first place. We watched this happen with Alex Jones. Since he was deplatformed from YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else, he had to go to his own website, which means if you didn't know who he was before, you're less likely to find out who he is now, because he was so censored. Rightfully so, in my opinion. He was advocating for violent action, and that's my personal moral line. If you're violating for violent action, I don't want you in the public sphere anymore. I don't want you in prison. I'm just okay with them removing you from the public sphere, because violence is inherently a bad thing, generally speaking. So when Alex Jones was kicked off of the platforms, his little group of extremists felt like martyrs. They felt like he was a martyr for the cause, and they became more radicalized. But you know what? There are fewer people in society now being convinced by Alex Jones that Parkland or Sandy Hook or any of the others were faked. That's what Alex Jones had to offer society, and that's why he was removed from public view. So his followers became more radicalized, mainstream society became more protected, and that's what's going to happen in this case, in my opinion.